Okay, so hi, my name is Scott Forcino. I'm an associate broker with Exp New York City and the metro area. I found a PlugIntro so that people could meet who they should know. Today we have with us Jeremy Katz from sunny San Diego. And I want to hear about, Jeremy's market, his services, his company, his client, and his success in the real estate industry. Thank you. Jeremy, good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon, Scott. Thank you for inviting me onto PlugIntro today. And I appreciate the brief introduction and explanation. I'm eager to share with folks, San Diego, I've been here 20 years and my heart and passion is in the real estate industry. I've been all over San Diego, based in several different locations over these 20 years and many different kinds of jobs in real estate, right? Developing myself, my teams, learning what we need to know, adapting, big, important factor, because the one thing is constant, and it's change. So I'm the lucky one. I get to live where many people want to vacation, or maybe aspire to move here, or even retire here. So over the years, I've built my business in many different ways, but chiefly among them, and very important to me, and I appreciate the chance, is the referrals, right? Many of us, I think, run our businesses by referral. I certainly do. And over the 20 plus years in the business, I do have over 800 closings, 800 families, making an impact with them to help them. At least half of those are my own personal transaction, and the other half are where I was broker of record. One of my earlier inventions of myself was to run the entire brokerage, San Diego house hunting. Later, we affiliated with other corporate brokerages, and most recently have been with EXP now for more than 3 years. I'm now also on the Porch Light team, which is one of the biggest teams in San Diego. We have almost 100 agents on our team and 1,000 closings last year. So
that's some impact.
I won't be working. Yes. When folks pick us, they're not just going to work with me. We have a very well-established team. So I'm glad to make that brief introduction, Scott. And the most important thing to take away is that I'm in it for the people. I really love people. Of course, it's a business that looks like it's about houses, but it's not. It's always about the people and what they want, and how they want to make their life move forward. And being a difference maker with people is the number one thing that I'm most proud of.
I mean, I think that's so impressive because I've been in for a while, since 1997. And as an outsider, a client buying this, these are really stressful transactions. We're dealing with very, very complicated legal matters and very, very sophisticated financial endeavors. They don't do this every day. They do this, what, 2 or 3 or 4 times, maybe in a lifetime. And I've seen some really jaded brokers treat that lightly, but this is tough. And I know you have to answer the same question many, many times, but they rely on you. And, all this talk about artificial intelligence and automation and technology, I don't think could ever replace the trust that comes from someone like yourself, who they know has their best interest in mind.
Thanks for saying that. I think that's really ultimately why people select the real estate broker that they want to work with. Well, I guess it begins just even with the basics, right? Do you like them? Are they the kind of person that you feel like you can tell a secret to, and that they're trustworthy, that they have your best interests at heart, that they have the systems and resources to bring to bear, that they have plenty of backup, that they have the experience? Well, these are some of the main strengths I try to bring to the table, but never forgetting it's about the people.
Sure. If you look at the NAR, National Association of Realtors poll, still with all the Zillow and all the technology and all the venture capital flying against us, because they're looking for the consumer to go directly to the source, it's still 90-something% of people find their agent through referrals. I mean, So that's staggering, that really nothing they can do would stop the trust. I mean, there's been a worldwide attack on trust, yet trust still wins.
Yeah, it seems like it's the most important factor. When folks are investing, whether it's for their first home, a move up situation, maybe they're downsizing or making an investment for the first time or not. Trust is the number one factor. You nailed it. And that's how do people figure out if they should trust someone? I think it comes down to, of course, it's a little bit circular, but are they trustworthy? How can you figure out if they're trustworthy? Making a clear explanation for people, telling them the whole truth, even when it's not that pleasant. Sharing and educating with them about what is going to happen, helping by setting the right expectations. And then when they start to see that what you've said starts to come true, then they begin to trust more and more. And so I think the experience that I bring to bear, and I think working with experienced people goes a long way, right? If you're going to bake a cake, the first few, or I think we all made pancakes on a Saturday or Sunday morning. The first one or two just don't come out so good, right, Scott?
Yeah.
So this is kind of like that.
Well, we two really principles that PlugIntro stands for is the marriage between the power of loose connections. Look how we met without knowing we're same company, across this big continent, two different oceans, and the law of reciprocity. So we're in an area where, in my mind, social media has let us down. It became less social and more of a broadcast. Look at me, look at me. So you notice the people that you might see on these social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, they're talking about an award or a transaction, and it's about themselves. Now, you can't blame them because they're really, until PlugIntro was not a way that they could grab something for themselves, a chance to offer a platform to benefit others in the community. Social media wasn't social. I call PlugIntro a local business channel, and it's an opportunity for people to build that trust. And one thing I notice, I'm sure you do the same thing. When someone sends you a friend request, you see how many mutual people. If there's 0 or 2,
yes.
if there's 70, you think, I know that guy, and you say the trust. If they had any interaction with some of those people, at least they got a fighting chance of being a normal person. They're not looking for some negative effort against you. So that's the chance. And PlugIntro lets people, in a limitless basis, for you as a experienced broker in your community, when you offer others the chance to promote their business, they're going to do the same thing with their contacts. And then if we help each other enough, and I don't keep score because we're only giving away digital digital positions within your platform. You're not buying them a steak dinner. You don't have to count your expenditures. You're just saying, join this fun thing that we're doing and making others gain. If you do provide that service, it has come back to me. Like you said, referral is such a big part of your business. That's fantastic. But introductions where there can't be a referral, maybe you don't have a referral, but certainly I could introduce you to the guys in my office or the guys on the team or the moms at school or the people from church. So easy to make an introduction, especially with this digital media.
Yes. So much of what we do is so heavily based in psychology and interpersonal communication and these kind of things. And, who's in your tribe comes to mind, right? And, of course, we work at the same corporate brand. We have, as you mentioned, many of the same connections via Facebook. It's so much based on the chance to make some connections. Like, there's, in the world of psychology, the connector. Right?
Sure.
Some people are just natural connectors.
Sure.
Now, I think that we have a lot that we can offer locally and help to make the connections. That way, not only are we helping our clients and doing good and doing right, but hopefully also having some fun doing it with people that we enjoy and that we respect.
If you get the pleasure, I think it was the Malcolm Gladwell, the idea virus, the sneezers, the connectors, the people who are natural high eyes on the disc series. Yes, but even if you're none of those things, what kind of broker would you be if you did not have the painter, the home inspector, the insurance person, the landscaper, everything house related?
Yes.
I think you have to have those. You have to.
Yeah, it's huge. And right now, Scott, in our market, what we're seeing, and we're filming this in spring of 2022, extremely low inventory, less than half a month's inventory. Some zip codes, like my home zip code, less than 0.2 months of inventory. Well,
Oh
anyway,
my
these are the
goodness.
technical.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Forget
just.
it.
And what we're seeing, to bring it back, is like, triple the amount of interest in homes that are fully renovated or that are move-in ready, right? Folks are ready to pay that cost of convenience. Why? Because it's time consuming and expensive to get vendors in there to do the work that they want. Whether they want, new flooring throughout, or they want the house painted, or they need handyman work done. If they, they want those conveniences and they're willing to pay for it. Well, okay, but not everyone, I think we know, they're not always ready or able to pay those premiums. They have to select from what is available. Well, they want to know that they're going to work with a broker that has a variety of vetted and reliable service providers. It doesn't matter what kind of, I mentioned a variety of them. There's all kinds. It goes on and on with what people need. And when you work with a broker that has those connections, and those vendors are, well, they know that they need to do right by our people.
Sure.
And,
Sure.
As a buyer, it's already stressful enough getting in on the house. Imagining, okay, what's it going to take to make the house okay for me and my family to move in? I'm going to need some referrals. Can you help me? Because otherwise, I'm going to have to go and buy some of these other properties, and I'm going to have to compete with folks that are willing to pay that cost of convenience. Many of my clients are in a position to do that, and yet they prefer to save the money, right? So if you're like
Sure.
me, then
And
jump on board.
it could even create a negative reflection on you, where if you guide me successfully through a fantastic transaction, but I can't get anybody in my house to paint, my kids can't get ready for school, it could give a real sour taste in your mouth. Listen, Jeremy couldn't give me a guy that for this. All of a sudden, all your great work is out the window because you don't have the person that's going to show up and make it a comfortable move. So,
Well, Scott, we promised them a good experience. And part of that is not only just getting in on the deal, running a smooth escrow, closing it, but making sure that it really provides a real solution for them, right? That's what they're buying. They want a solution to their housing problem.
They don't want to drill. They want the hole. They want to walk in, like you said, and it really makes it seamless. And I mean, there's so much, to me, that agents that don't do that, I think, are crazy. I see on Facebook, and I would never identify them, people asking for a handyman. And I'm in New York. You're in California. I can't give you one. My guy's never going to come that far. But to announce that you're an agent is announcing that they're not a resource. It's, to me, I don't understand how that happened.
Well, I always think of the best in people. Sometimes I see those posts too, Scott, and I just have to believe it's because they're so successful that their handyman is busy doing 6 different other projects. But maybe they still need a handyman.
But like you say, it's a personal business. So someone like yourself, I'm sure, takes delight in meeting the new service provider, where number one, you're making a better connection to that person, and number two, you're providing a real resource and value to your client.
Yeah, thanks for saying that. That's what we want.
Listen, as you know, it really takes a village. These transactions between the 4 or 5 people on the buyer side and 4 or 5 people, it's like a basketball game, except it's not adversarial. It's largely cooperative and collaborative. We really need 2 good teams. And let me bring up one other point. If you have a group that works well together, I used to call them a power group of the home inspector, the lender, title, the usual suspects. Sometimes the client could be the worst enemy, where they pull some loan offline, they get their grandmother's brother, or they pull Rocket Mortgage off, and they start underwriting in 4 months. That's where I think that there has to be some persuasion and some influence exerted over the client, because you're the professionals.
Well, that's a good point, Scott. We want them to have a great experience from start to finish. And sometimes prospects, clients, they come to us, especially you brought up the best one, the LeBron James of your team is the lender, right?
Sure.
And having a lender that is experienced, a problem solver, communicative, urgent, fast closing. If you can't do a lot of these, at this point in our current market, most of the time you can't even win. So, a desirable lender with a certain, maybe they're desirable because of a promotional interest rate or something, but if they can't close, that's a no-go. You got to go with who can close. And a lot of folks don't understand the difference between, the various mortgage service providers. And we have a variety in our arsenal to provide them, whether or not, you're first-time home buyer, if you're looking for an aggressive investment-oriented loan, if you are a military VA buyer, need a specialist to handle a complicated, maybe you have a very basic VA file, that's fine. About a fifth of our transactions in San Diego are VA. Very big, heavy
because of where
influence.
You are.
Yes.
Yeah,
so we have
sure.
Big Navy focus as well as Marines at Camp Pendleton. So I've even touched on a few Army along the way. But anyway, VA, it's a big deal. You got to be prepared and understand how to assist these clients that are PCSing from all over the United States. Usually they buy these properties, they rent them among themselves and their small team, and then they usually keep them after they're done being assigned here. Works great as an investment for them. Certainly their BAH are pretty big, right? Their housing budgets. Yeah.
That's
so
powerful.
Having the lender being available to our clients is key. Yeah. And being able to close quickly, that's what the sellers are interested in. That reduces their risk and that increases their confidence. There's only two things that sellers worry about ultimately. Number one is what's the price? And number two, is this going to close? Because as soon as we open escrow, that's right away the questions all my seller clients ask me. Is this going to close? That's what they want to know.
Sure.
So working with the lender is the number one reason it closes or doesn't close.
It may be even worse because before you, as you call, go into escrow, I think that means when we go into contract here, you're still weighing offers. So before you even accept an offer, you have to really get to the bottom of who's the best. I mean, give me an example of yours. You're weighing how many offers on a property at this point?
Yeah, it can. Well, my general goal is to keep it reasonable. I like to have 3-4 offers within about 10 days, but that's a general pricing strategy method. Some buyers agents, listing agents over here are just, seeing, 10, 20 offers in just a weekend, right? To me, that's the sign that you might have just priced it a little too low, creating somewhat of a circus instead of we want to create a competition, not a circus. All right. So, but yes, in general, we're getting multiple offers on the most desirable properties and usually within, like I mentioned, 7 to 10 days. And yeah, and California is an escrow state. So we have the chance to evaluate all the offers. We talk to all the lenders, making sure that the folks are properly qualified. It's customary in Southern California for folks to provide their proof of funds for their down payment and their closing costs. And so we have all of those reviewed. We want to know most of all right away, do we call the lender? Do they answer? Do they know the file? Are they going to be able to actually close this? How far along have they gotten in it? So that's important whether you're buying or selling, is working with an agent that understands this dynamic and that knows the right questions to ask. Sure, friendly, positive, but firm.
Right.
That's what our clients expect, right, Scott?
Again, I always go back to, the connection between the service providers. It sounds like you're so respect-based on the people you work with. One thing I noticed, though, is that the referrals kind of go into a one-way street where the agents almost entirely provide the referral flow to the lenders and home inspectors and title companies. And it's definitely not a one-for-one opportunity in your case. I mean, am I correct in saying?
Yeah, that's correct. Probably not. Mostly we refer them. That's true.
Right. And that's another thing that kind of stuck in my in my craw a little bit, because the agents are accepting based on the dynamic because they're usually the first one in, but that's less and less. Direct lenders now are getting more and more direct contact. So they have more of an opportunity to refer. But again, I'll say it again, referrals are tough. I created PlugIntro for the chance to benefit both agents and lenders, meaning a lender who grabs a group and offers it to agents, he or she then created an opportunity and a platform where the agent can meet many, many more people than another lender would have an opportunity for that same agent. This is a way for creating a platform where locals can meet and gain exposure for the host of the agent and the lender, gives that lender a decided advantage. They are doing what we just agreed doesn't happen that much. So that's the one. On the second time, where now we have a chance where agents know that there was a refi boom. Before PlugIntro, you are not going to ask these lenders the names and addresses of the people they refinance. You wouldn't do that. I know you wouldn't, but some people might. But now with the PlugIntro platform, where let's say the lender and Jeremy are hosting, if everyone is just asking their clients, those are the refi homeowners, and you're the only agent. So you wouldn't necessarily reach and meet those people. So that's another. We shifted that on its head by saying, you know what, agents don't bother. They don't say, "Give me your Rolodex." They know it's a one-way street. They just want a good job. However, there's been some inherent unfairness there.
We would like to see that improve, of course, but at the same time, yeah, like you said at the beginning, we can't scoreboard keep quite like that. Most important thing is to network with professionals of common priority and values. Hey, look, we're go-getters. I want to work with people that are go-getters. If it's worth getting done, let's get it done right away, right? Because that's a difference maker for people, handling things urgently, right? I think that's what my clients expect. And I think that they want that from the vendors too, right? So I think it's important that vendors of all kinds that touch the client, that if we have the same general philosophy of performance of the service, and then it sort of starts to make sense together, ultimately culminating with more referrals being traded, of course, yes.
Sure. Yeah. Well, it's an ecosystem. And very simply, before this platform existed, there was no ecosystem. You relied on the normal conventional means of networking events and organizations and functions. And, but I like to say that PlugIntro creates one more thing where it can really stop the pain, where someone like yourself has local contacts, whether it's friends and family and clients. Some agents really will hound those people and get rejected. This is an opportunity to put them in their own very, very warm, very, very special CRM. Now you're in a place that's hosted by you. It's a Facebook group. You're going to get notifications. They're soft. This interview is one of them. We're going to do them all year. We might do a goofy one. We might do one, something surfing related, which I would love that one, right? We could just do stuff about San Diego, stuff I don't know, and people can chip in. So there's that opportunity. And also there's the opportunity. Yeah, there's so much of that. And as far as lenders and title companies, instead of being really pursued, like a hunting agents, it gives them a chance to build stronger bonds because we're promoting this together. We're looking to see who we can help in the community. And after COVID, I know New York and California were so locked down. We really need things to create a bond. We needed a way, if you're on a Zoom, to have something to say and a person to speak to.
Good. I like this idea too. Nice.
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun. Well, we're here for you. We're looking forward to servicing Porchlight. We are partners in this. We're really fortunate when we're going to let your contacts know that we have a staff that works for them. The goal here is to gain maximum local exposure, see who we could help, and let the introductions really put us in a better place.
I love it. That's how we can make great things happen for our people, opening up new options and opportunities. Making these connections is a big deal. I really appreciate you inviting me on to share a little bit about myself and explain a little bit about why people would want to use us and work with me. I work with all of the referrals personally, Scott. So although
I see.
I'm on a big team, if anyone were to ever send me a referral, you can be sure I'll be doing the work directly. If somehow, I mean, San Diego is a big county. We have from all the way from the ocean to halfway to Arizona, just one county.
I didn't know
Those two
that.
counties between the ocean and Yuma, Arizona, which is at the state line. There's San
Mm.
Diego County, of course, and then Imperial County. There's only basically, so, you know, it's big. If somehow someone were to send me an opportunity that was maybe a little out of my reach, I could still refer them to the right person. So I appreciate any referrals, any chance to consult is greatly appreciated. I'll be sure to point people in the right direction.
I have no doubt. Listen, we're going to do big things. We're here for the year. Maybe you could take me out for a drink at the Coronado Beach Hotel there, right on the
Sounds
Balboa
fun.
side. That would be great.
That is
Okay,
fun.
sir. I appreciate
So
it.
it'd be my pleasure
Let's
to
get-
host you.
let's
Just
get
let
this-
me know when you're coming around.
I will. Thanks quite a bit. You take care. Talk soon.
Great. Thanks so much. Be well. Have a great day.